Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to try to dig deep into a subject: why African countries, army, the armies are so weak and ill-equipped. For starters, when the colonial masters exit, so-called exit, of these African countries, it makes sure for once that the army they left behind was weak and ill-equipped. Moving forward, they also make sure the armies of these countries were not able to purchase the equipment they really need. One, they would put blockade and the kind of weapons these African countries could purchase. And two, if they were able to purchase up to date equipment, it took them several years to get it. So by the time they get it, it was outdated. And three, also, this is a big one. These African leaders, African countries' leaders, also played a huge part in making sure their armies are not properly provided for with good equipment and good training. Cause main causes they fear that the army might overthrow them one day because of their weak leadership or lack of leadership there is, and the amount of corruption that goes on in these countries. Now, number four is these two goes hand in hand again with the colonial master and the African leaders. They, I would say, I won't use the word prescribe, but they indulge in a lot of corruption. So the budget for the army was less than 1% because really they didn't see a need to strengthen the army because of their fear. Now, in today's world, where terrorists and uprising going on, that also scared the heck out of most of these leaders too, because they fear their army will overthrow them. Good example: three countries in the Sahara region: um, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria. Their leaders was overthrown by military men, and based on what's going on in the Sahara region now, the countries and the people is in a much better situation. There's more development going on. There's a stronger control of the borders, and the armies are slowly building that way they can fight off these jihadis and terrorist organization that is mostly funded by the Western world to keep these countries in check. The other thing is, which is number five, these countries are enriched with lots and lots of mineral, but the colonial masters still control these minerals through these puppet government that they help to install. So even though the countries are rich in minerals, billions and billions or maybe trillions and trillions of dollars, just to give you an example, look at the country, the DRC. It is estimated that one of their mineral, which is cobalt, is worth somewhere around $20 trillion. And the DRC is considered to be one of the poorest country in Africa, if not the poorest country in Africa, with so much wealth sitting underground. But when these wealth is mined, the countries don't benefit from it. It's foreign countries that benefits. And these leaders don't see a need to put a stop to that because what? They're very corrupt. Corrupt leaders. Corrupt leaders. Look at what's going on in Togo today. There was a coup, I call it a coup, that was engineered with France and its present leader. One family has ruled their country for over 60 years. The father started to rule the country in the early 60s. When he died, his son took over. The son now with France does engineer a political coup where they had the legislators voted him in as president for life. And he's a fairly young man. So this is how corrupt they are and how these colonial masters, Western countries are involved in corruptions because corruption favors them. They put these leaders in, help to prompt them up while they steal the minerals. If they do pay for it, they pay pennies for it, for the minerals. Not enough for the country to take care of its people. So all these were designed to keep these African countries down. You know, there's three countries that's rising: Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. And in all the 54 countries or 53 countries, that you want to call it, there's about a handful of countries, maybe 3 countries, 4 countries, that's really progressing. Egypt, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Algeria. Those are the 4 that come to mind. The rest is not progressing. Libya was up there at one time, but you see what the West did to Libya. They killed Muammar Gaddafi, and Libya is in a state of disarray. And then these Western countries walk around talking about morals. And you should have high morals and integrity. You know, they don't have any. They don't have any. but they try to pose their um, practice, not their practice, but what they think or how they think we should behave. You know, not many countries that was colonized you can point to in this age, 2025, that you can point to and says it's really progressing. The countries that comes to mind that has achieved some improvement is countries in the Caribbean, which had slavery. Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, Ghana, and look what they did with Haiti. Those are the four countries that I can think of who has probably broken through the oak of suppression and it's doing something. It's building its community and its people and progressing. So if you're still watching and still listening to me, I'm going to ask you to do me a great favor. Please subscribe. Please send me a comment. Please share. It would help me a great deal. And I would surely appreciate it. So go ahead right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I thank you in advance. Also, I ask you, please drop me a line, send me a comment and subject I should talk about if you like what I'm saying. We were programmed to think that or to believe that the Western world, Europe, and the Americas, not the America, but America, United States, and Canada, have high morals and have believe in integrity. But the more you remove the cover, you can see there's no moral, there's no integrity. It's all selfishness. So, my African brothers and sisters, I'm pleading to you. Please, let's put aside all our difference or ideology difference, because appearance, skin color, genetically, we're not different. But because of where we grew up, our philosophy, our ideas get warped into thinking one way or the other way. I'm asking y'all, please, this is 2025. Let's all get together with one voice and stand up for each other, especially these three African countries that's trying to lay a foundation for all of us. We might not make it there, but our children might. So we have to help them to build this foundation. You know, the foundation they're building, it's like building a house. One of the hardest part of building a house is to lay the foundation. Once you lay that foundation, everything else comes and falls in place. But the foundation is the hardest part. If you put a foundation down for the house and it's not on solid ground, the house will tilt over. The house will warp, be lean one-sided. So let's put our hands and voices, and if we have money, if we can afford it, to help these three countries to build a solid foundation. Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso already came out and said that he looked at us, all of us, especially us in the Caribbean and the Americans, as Africans. And if we want to come home, we're welcome. A lot of African countries now are opening up to us from the people from the Caribbean and the Americas, especially the United States, telling us if we want to come home, to come home. There's space for us to help them rebuild. And one thing I'm saying to us, if we do go there, please, with all means, leave our Americanness here in America, or our Britishness in Britain, or our Jamaicanness in Jamaica or in the Caribbean. Let's adapt to the African belief and African standard. Yes, not all of these standards are up to par, but we can go there and help to build it, help to strengthen it. Look at it as a generation gap, not a generation gap, but as a generation foundation that we're building for the next generation. For us to have a place we call home. Us Africans are splintered all over the world. All over. And then we're brainwashed to think that if we were born in Jamaica, we're not Africans, but we're Jamaicans. If we're born in America, we're not Africans, but we're Americans. Yet, we can see what's going on today in America. The leadership of America don't want us here. And we were the one who built this country. Our mothers and fathers and grandparents built this country. And great-grandparents, free labor. They got free labor to build this country. And yet, look how they treat us. I can talk about it. I know a little bit about it. My grandparents on my father's side went to work in the Panama Canal. My father was born in Panama. My grandparents, great-grandparents on my mother's side came from India to work in the Caribbean as what they call indentured servants, meaning that you work without pay for a period of time. After you finish the time, they will give you a piece of land. Not give you a ticket to go back home, but give you a piece of land and say that's yours. Go do what you gotta do. They leave now, you have nothing. You might have a family, but that's it. You don't have any financial resource. You have to start from scratch. But you work for the slave master for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, and all he gives you is a small plot of land and say that's it. That's your pay. So we were taken advantage of. Africans, Indians, Chinese, we were taken advantage of. So we all have similar backgrounds. We were treated basically the same way. And then they put us together and tell us, you're Chinese, so you're better than the Indians. You're Indians, you're better than the blacks. Because the black people was always at the bottom of the barrel. Yet, if you go back and look at it, at one point in history, we were the most advanced people in the world. People of Kush, Ethiopia. That's another topic. I'm going to do a talk on Ethiopia and the people of Kush, and also the Ethiopian Bible and how the Catholic Church suppressed that Ethiopian Bible. The Roman Catholic Church suppressed that Ethiopian Bible because they did not want black people to know what's in that Ethiopian Bible. The Bible they talking about right now with 66 books, the Ethiopian Bible was not. But that's something I'll get into. So for now, I'm going to say thank you. God bless you. And again, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. And by all means, send me a comment. And watch out for my subject on the Ethiopian Bible and what's in the Ethiopian Bible and what they're hiding from us, what they don't want us to know. God bless. Peace and love.